I've got to try and get that video on the Good Friday prayer out tonight, so some people could see it before Passion Sunday, maybe, and it gives them a chance to discuss it. It's about not genuflecting on Good Friday and the prayer for the Jews, not receiving Holy Communion on Good Friday. That's really important, and like people don't have a clue about this. Even traditional masses, they distribute communion. It's a disaster. This is the one day of the year when Mass is absolutely forbidden. Even on Holy Saturday, you used to be able to anticipate the Easter Mass, Good Friday, no Mass. And in the beginning, I think people did receive Holy Communion. The Galatian Sacramentary indicates that. But by 1000, no. St. Thomas explains that through the Mass and the sacraments, you are united with the Holy Sacrament of Calvary, but you understand it's a sign of that. And it's a real sign because God's signs are real. But on Good Friday, he says, we remember the Passion as it was actually accomplished. So you don't have the sign then, the body and blood. There's no precious blood consecrated on Good Friday. They used to, in the past, reserve it on the Holy Thursday as well, the blood. But because of the danger of spillage, they ceased doing that. And then there's this realization, okay, people shouldn't come to receive Holy Communion on Good Friday because we're meant to be more directly, mentally at least, connecting ourselves with the Passion. And you kneel down, kiss the cross. There is your adoration and your realization of your sinfulness and Jesus redeeming you. And to deny yourself that day, of all days, don't say you love Jesus so much you're going to receive Holy Communion. That's not love. That's self-centered. Or Jesus needs me, or I need Jesus. You need the true Jesus. You need to understand the Passion that God died for you. And so Good Friday, don't go to Holy Communion. And you'll set an example for other people. And they'll say, why? And you won't be able to explain it. I try and explain it, and people don't get it. They say, what? St. Thomas explained it. I think he said, because that's the day it's really accomplished. And that's why not to genuflect in the Good Friday prayer for the Jews. So I want to finish that video today. So that's my time limit.
Okay. So also with the Palm Sunday liturgy, I saw an interaction between you and Novus Ordo Watch. You were talking about genuflecting at a certain point in the liturgy. And then I also want to ask you about in the Novus Ordo Palm Sunday, when the whole parish says, crucify him, crucify him. What is that about? Like, because I wasn't sure if I was following you completely, but you said this wasn't just this took time and with a certain point that we genuflect at, right?
That's on the Good Friday.
Okay.
And that's in the video I hope to put out tonight. They'll say exactly when and why and where it came from. The Amici Israel in 1926 asking for a genuflection to be inserted and the word perfidious to be taken out. And in 1928, the church crushed it. Marco Salas was a papal theologian. He said, no way, nihil esse innovandum. Nothing should be changed here. And it cannot be changed. It's 1,000 years old, this custom of not genuflecting, because we don't want to participate in the mockery of Jesus. And Don Prosper Granger explains we pray for the descendants of those who crucified Christ. No problem praying for them and their conversion. But we shrink from participating in the act whereby they mocked him. The Jews manipulated the Roman soldiers into bowing down to Jesus, saying, Ave, hail King of the Jews. And with the purple cloak, the crown of thorns, mocking him. That came from the Jews. That's why we don't genuflect on Good Friday. That's how the church has seen it for more than 1,000 years. Why the hell would, in 1955, Pius XII say, we're going to insert a genuflection here? And in 1959, John the 23rd, we're taking out the word perfidious, which the Amici Israel asked for formally in 1928. And then after Marco Salas explained, no, the Holy Office investigated, and Cardinal Mary de Val said, absolutely not, we can't change this. This is a Jewish tract. The Jewish are subverting the whole church through this. And Pius XI was even stronger than the recommendation from the Holy Office and said, not only are we going to reject this request and make the removal of the request, we have to assert it cannot be asked for again, and it cannot be done. And yet, 20, 30 years later, it was done. Why? Because the Holocaust.
Yeah,
it's between 1928 and 1955. The Holocaust. And specifically, Jules Isaac going to meet with the Pope saying, this is the reason. The church is anti-Semitic. The church caused the atmosphere wherein the Holocaust was possible. So that's why we change our liturgy. And if you stand for that prayer on Good Friday, you're not being disobedient. The rubrics are not for you. The rubrics are for the priest and the deacon. The deacon says, flectamus genua, bend the knee. You do in the pew what you need to do to pray best. And what you need to pray best is to stand and say, I'm not sharing the mockery of Jesus. That's it. I'm not going to judge anyone else or bully anyone else. That's why I will not kneel. And after years, when people build up, the priest will realize this, what's going on. He'll have to get the truth. The bishops have to get the truth.